The Targaryen who sits the Iron Throne is not just a king or a queen. They are a protector of the realm.
If I ever do go out, I'm doing it that way.
Seppuku?
Yeah.
I wonder if that was a Shogun nod. Just kidding. Spoilers. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Nerd Soup. I am Ruben, formerly known as Beau Oliver, today with Aaron, and we are back to review House of the Dragon, Season 2, Episode 2, Rhaenyra the Cruel. I didn't realize that was the title until I just looked it up 5 minutes ago. Kind of a funny title. They were getting in her ass a little bit during that funeral procession.
I mean, the optics are terrible.
No, definitely not good for the PR. Not a great episode for the Blacks. And then it became a kind of a bad episode for the Greens as well. Not a good episode for anybody, really.
No, I think we're starting to sense a trend here.
Yeah, Civil War. But it was good for the fans because it seems like most people really like this episode, directed by Claire Kilner, who directed some of my favorite episodes of Season 1 and written by Sarah Hess. And it continues off of the death of Prince Jaehaerys, the murder of Prince Jaehaerys. Let me get it right there. But, you know, Aaron, how are you? Before we get into the episode, how's it going? Introductions?
Self-defense, you can make the argument for.
For blood and cheese?
Yeah.
Manslaughter?
Good lawyer. Well, I guess they didn't really get the chance of a fair trial there.
When somebody sends you out on a hit in Westeros, it does feel less icky.
Well,
because
I think
the world is just so messed up.
You gotta be an idiot to get caught like doing a crime before like 1975, I feel like.
Yeah, because of the lack of forensics.
Yeah, just like, wasn't me. Well, that's a reasonable doubt.
That's why OG Sherlock was such a beast. But I like the way they incorporated the forensics and the Enola Holmes.
Yeah.
I like that movie. I like the second one.
People sleep on Enola Holmes. That's a fun little duo there.
But yeah, as I said, continuing off of the murder of Prince Jaehaerys, all the chaos, King Aegon freaking out and destroying the Lego set. That actually, to me, was a bigger blow than Jaehaerys' death. Because I knew, Viserys worked on that for decades.
Yeah.
And I guess there's like some symbolism there. You know, everything that Viserys built, here comes his children to tear it all down. Reoccurring theme across the board when it comes to TV.
And life in general.
Yeah. I mean, Succession, Game of Thrones, Righteous Gemstones. Funny show.
George W. Bush.
Yeah, George W. Bush. I always felt bad for W. I mean, you know, he's a war criminal who deserves to be tried at The Hague. But it was always so funny how, or a little bit heartbreaking how George H.W., his father, always liked Bill Clinton more than him.
Yeah, he just wanted to be the commissioner of baseball. I think he would have loved the steroid era. Bonds is in the Hall of Fame. It's just such a ripple effect.
Bonds isn't in the Hall of Fame yet? What the fuck, man?
Yeah.
That's fucked up. Well, Aaron, I'll let you start with this episode. What did you think about Rhaenyra the Cruel?
I thought it was probably maybe not the best episode of the series so far. I still think, what was it, episode 6 of the Viserys when he enters the Iron Throne. I think that moment alone might be one of the better moments in like all of Song, Ice and Fire between Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. But as a full episode, I think it's right up there as top 2, I think, of the series so far. So many great dramatic moments stemming off of last week's episode where I think we were right in our assessment that people who wasn't really expecting anything to happen with Blood and Cheese probably didn't. And I don't think we hated the sequence, but weren't left disappointed with that scene. They kind of just took it as it is. It's like, wow, that's fucked up. And excited to see what stems from the end of last week's episode. And I think the follow-up was very well done. The two standout scenes for me were the Daemon and Rhaenyra interaction and the Otto and Aegon interaction. I thought those were both wonderfully directed, written, and acted scenes. Some of the best we've seen from the series so far. Obviously, at the end, too, that clash between brothers really epitomizes what this whole show is going to be. Two people bound by blood on two different sides of this civil war where it seems no one's going to win.
Yeah, I thought that Otto was definitely the standout in this episode. Otto and Aegon continue to be the standouts for me. That scene when he's freaking out on Aegon for destroying all the goodwill that they built up with the funeral procession, which I also thought was a great scene. I was panicking. I thought that poor little baby was going to fall off of the casket. And you felt so bad for Helena having to be just paraded around the city to garner this sympathy, even though they're both characters there, Allison and Helena, are broken in the way she's clutching her leg. But when Otto does that head tilt towards Kristen Cole, because Kristen Cole's face that whole scene is like, I don't belong here. I'm not qualified to do this. He listens to me. I don't know why, Otto. Please help me, Otto. But when he's like, no, we need to take initiative. Cole's got a plan. And he's like, what?
The oldest trick in the book.
That shit. And when he called it a prank, that was so, he's like, you conceded to this prank? And Aegon's like, yeah, sure, why not? It's hilarious.
No, it's fucking genius, bro. Do you not understand? They look exactly alike. Do you not know what twins are, you fucking idiot?
They're twins.
Yeah.
Can't tell them apart. Their names. Eric. For the most part, I wasn't as high on this episode as you were. The scene between Rhaenyra and Daemon, by the end of the argument, I just found it to be petty. And I guess that was the sort of point of it, but I didn't find that scene very compelling. I thought the direction was really good. Claire Kilner's very skilled. Need to give her, I guess, a Marvel movie. But yeah, that interaction to me fell flat. And I thought a lot of the Rhaenyra scenes, I don't know what they're doing with Rhaenyra's character. I don't know what they're doing with Alicent's character. And we've made these criticisms about them before. But it does seem like they're trying so hard to make them good guys. And that's a big emphasis for them. That, man, if only they could have just gotten married, the two of them, because they were always in love, but destiny had different paths for them. And look at all these horrible things that are happening to these two good people. And I did feel bad for Rhaenyra during the small council scene when somebody checks her and says, you're in mourning. We know that women tend to get emotional. And meanwhile, it's Daemon the entire time who initiated this hit. And then he's just sitting there. I imagine people had a lot of fun with that because his facial reactions were hilarious. He looks like the Pokemon Ditto. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
He's kind of got that face to him.
You can, if you wanted to, you can, jiggle around his face, and maybe he can be like Sir Eric as well. You can just make him look like whatever you want.
Yeah, right. They're going to run it back on them. But I felt like a lot of the scenes weren't as compelling as maybe they could have been. I thought the dialogue wasn't as clever as it could have been. Some of the scenes felt a bit superfluous. I guess you want to establish that these characters are here and they have emotions and they're dealing with things. But one scene I hated was Jason Bela. And that was kind of the story of the episode for me. There were a lot of those scenes. The scene between Alicent and Otto felt like the same exact scene that they had in episode 1, where they're discussing similar things. And I know the story has progressed, so they have to get some things off of their chest. And it was funny when he was like, I know you've done bad things, just keep it to yourself. I really don't care. Otto, to me, was just so funny in this episode. Him reacting to everybody, realizing that he's playing chess, but everybody else is playing Hungry Hippo. They're just trying to smash the board. And he's trying to move these pieces, and they're so reluctant to go where he wants them to go. So, poor Otto.
Hungry Hippos. That's a great pull.
But what do you think about, because I saw on Reddit, and it's weird, because I sort of agree with this and I don't, because it almost feels like they're stretching the story thin. But then some people were upset that they're jumping to moments. And this was in season 1, too, that they're rushing things a bit. I don't know. Like I said, it's kind of hard to be doing both at the same time.
No, I don't think so. And it's such a smaller story, especially when you consider just the geography of where the Blacks and Greens are headquartered. It's not as vast as Game of Thrones, where early in Game of Thrones, where it felt like not only obviously Daenerys being on the other side of the world, but the North in general just being such a far distant land from everything that's happening in King's Landing, especially when it took, the characters a good part of a season to even make it to the even seasons to even make it to River Run, where here it seems like...
Yeah, they do have the dragons, so...
They do have the dragons, and everything is very tight when it comes to the geography. So, no, I haven't really mind that. I mean, they stretched out, especially in this episode, I feel like they stretched out a few pages into a substantial episode, and
that's what I felt, which I didn't think, it's not a huge criticism, but I felt like they were stretching it thin. So people who were saying, they jumped too quickly to the Eric and Arik moment. That's what it looks like the complaints are about, the complaints. But that does happen pretty much right after Blood and Cheese. Kind of makes sense for me for an episode 2. Yeah,
and I think maybe the year and a half wait can play into that a little bit, especially if you didn't rewatch the season 1 right before season 2. You kind of, And the fact that they look like each other and have the same name, maybe it's hard to kind of differentiate the two, or kind of remember the moment where he came and brought the crown to Rhaenyra.
Right. And that's not on the show. That is going to be on the viewer. And I think for most people, they remembered who they were.
Yeah, and I really don't think you need much to really build that up. I mean, it's two twin brothers on different sides of the fence here clashing in this, emotional battle.
Yeah, that was a good scene.
And I'll always be a sucker for who's who. Which one's
dude,
which?
Yeah. Rhaenyra pulls out a revolver, starts asking deeply personal questions. It turns out Eric doesn't know her at all.
Yeah. It's like, what did you bring me for breakfast this morning? It's like, I don't know, 2 eggs and burnt bacon. It's like, wait, no, did I have that? I'm always forgetting what I had for breakfast.
Wait a minute, I'm a vegan.
Stressful times.
Well, I liked also, you don't really know which brother it was, because even going back to the brother who killed himself in front of Rhaenyra, because even the accounts in the book, it was Eric felt, and even getting the job from Kristen Cole, it's not something he wants to do. He's doing it reluctantly because Cole's trying to push off his mess on this guy. But you don't know which, it could be either brother asking Rhaenyra for forgiveness, because it is such a dishonorable thing to do, to slay a queen or a king in their bed, especially because Rhaenyra was so excited to see Eric. She thought, oh, here's Eric bringing me some good news, maybe?
Oh, did we win?
War's over?
No, that's one of the slimier moves, from a slimy ass character. Him being like, yo, where were you when all this was happening?
He really is just the fucking worst.
Are you getting the soul written out of you? You're going to ask where I was?
I don't like how all the other gold cloaks left the room. Back up your boy. Fuck this guy.
Oh, now he's the Hand of the King.
Like I said, dude, his face when he became Hand of the King, he's so in over his head.
And he's just going to be a fucking prick.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's going to try to big dog Alicent now. He's going to walk around like, oh, he's untouchable. Oh, I fucking hate him.
Well, see, that's why this isn't about the quality of the writing whatsoever, but could you imagine Joffrey firing Tywin? It would just never happen, dude. Tywin's aura was unbelievable. And also, Tywin was good at not going back and forth with Joffrey. He never really yelled at him. He'd chastise him here and there, but he never got too emotional.
Yeah.
And Otto slipped up, I think, when he bugged out. I mean, that was a really dumb thing for Aegon to do. That's why Aegon is just... I didn't expect him to be this funny. Everything he does is hilarious.
Great performance, too.
Yes,
I mean, obviously, the standouts, Emma Darcy, Olivia Cook, Rhys Ifans, but his performance as Aegon, especially this season, has been phenomenal. And I think that's what really sold that sequence. And like you said, when you talked about how the Rhaenyra and Daemon scene, maybe you didn't love it, but it was well directed. I think they brought the same kind of style and the way they shot it to both of those sequences. Yeah, I think those were still the standouts for me. Someone called me on Twitter and said, if all due respect, you kind of look like a Wish version of Kristen Cole, my man. And not bad, right? Better than Temu, right?
It's better than being like the Wish version of cheese. That's what somebody said to me.
Someone called you Wish cheese?
Wish cheese. That actually,
you got Wish cheese?
Dude, I'm about to actually make that my new rap name. That's my new moniker.
Wish cheese.
Make a wish and get cheesy.
Because I just thought about that because I was talking about how much I hate him. I'm like, yo, he has such a punchable face too. I'm like, wait a second.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, don't you? People who look like that, don't you just want to fucking punch him in the face? It's funny though, because he looks, he's still a handsome man, but it is crazy how your actions can make you less hot. Because when he's charming Rhaenyra in the first season and they're riding horses and he's a shoulder for her to lean on, he was Prince Charming. And now he does seem, and I think that's a credit to Fabian Frankel, where the way he's carrying himself is so much more pathetic. He's just lost all of his charm. And it's funny because you mentioned that he had to limit his Instagram comments because people just can't separate between actor and character. But one of the comments was, "We hate you, but you fine."
No, there's like I feel like a line where it's like evil hot versus evil pathetic.
Yeah.
And it's like, because you can be evil and people will fucking make fan cams of you. But when you're like a pathetic kind of asshole, then it's just like,
Yeah, I think Damon's the perfect example of that. Not necessarily evil, Machiavellian, but people love him because you just never know what you're going to get. But yeah, even the way that he delivers his lines, there's just so much self-doubt. He doesn't believe anything that he's saying. And even setting Eric off on this mission, at the very least, he gets rid of somebody he's not going to back down to Kristen Cole, and doesn't matter anymore because now Kristen Cole got a job promotion. Eric has died tragically. But yeah, that character continues to be, and I love characters like that in the Game of Thrones Westeros world. That's why Joffrey was so fun. Nobody liked him, but he was so pathetic and annoying and evil, and it makes the show interesting. So yeah, I think a lot of people have criticized lessening Kristen's role in the politics and the maneuverings, but now I'm starting to feel it. I'm starting to feel it more. Like, oh shit, this asshole's got more power. Buckle up.
Yeah, it's really hard to determine. Like without Otto, it just seems like it's such a huge blow. Like someone with common sense, even the way he was maneuvering Jaharis' death, like, kind of morbid in a sense, but like it was the right move. And we talked about it after last week, like what Damon's actions, like the repercussions for Rhaenyra. Are you still going to get the Starkmen? Is it going to still get the Vale? Like people take this shit seriously.
No,
should.
That's brutal, man.
Yeah.
That news, I mean, Cregan hears that. It actually doesn't matter for Cregan because he took the oath.
Yeah, I can't break an oath. Oh, so you see the Game of Thrones account said like a Stark never broke an oath, and they didn't show Rob.
Well, Rob's not a Stark; he's a Tully.
Yeah, he's got that auburn hair. There's a huge difference from, I feel like, what Aemon did in terms of like narrative, like how you can shift that. Like it was an accident, I guess, but like it just you lose all sympathy when you're the blacks after that happens. Where if it was Aemon and they did do the thing correctly, it wouldn't have had that big of an effect.
Right, yeah. If Aemon gets clapped, nobody cares except the fans. Another scene, and
his
I felt
mistress.
Yeah, Aemon with his mistress, Rhaenys with Corlys. Those scenes to me were just setups for things to come, so they felt like throwaways, but there was a lot of them. And even the scene with Hugh, where I felt Hugh in the first episode, I'm like, that's not Sir Hugh. And then this episode, he felt more like Sir Hugh. I have no idea why. I think it was just getting a better look at his hair.
Sir Hugh of the Vale. That's my boy.
Yeah, Sir
Remember
Hugh of
him?
the Vale. Oh, no, sir. No, not him. Hugh the Hammer. Great name.
Yes, that's a great name.
But what were we talking about? Oh, yeah, Otto wanting to parade Jaharis to gain sympathy. I know, it's like you said, it's morbid, but it's the right move. And eventually Aegon came around to it. And then Aegon just fucking destroyed it. And even, dude, dogs are the best, because even after Cheese kicked him, he's still sad that his owner got hung. Poor little dog.
Yeah, I mean, he did do like, that's like a Joffrey move right there. Just like, oh, we don't know which rat catcher it is. Let's just hang all of them.
Yeah, or Daenerys move.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, yeah, how about our fucking boy Blood just crumbling under pressure? Not loyal at all.
That was fucking hilarious, dude.
Thinking he's going to get out scot-free. Well, I told you.
I would have done the same shit, dude. He takes out all those torture tools, singing like Braun in a Dornish cell.
I think LeBron on Instagram stories.
LeBron do be singing. It's funny because he looks down at his phone now to read the lyric.
That head shake move.
He loves that head shake, dude. Making himself dizzy.
Someone needs to feed our boy Aemon, though.
Bro, he's
looking fucking like Voldemort in Harry's vision.
There's a character in Hunter x Hunter who he would be perfect as a live action version. Skinny as shit, long silver hair, and it just immediately made me think of Kite from Hunter x Hunter. But like you said, he regrets what happened with Lucerys, and we assume that even his initial reaction, telling Vhagar to stop and realizing he just chomped this motherfucker. And you wonder if he's going to take those words to heart. And that's something I feel like this show is missing, and I think it's a combination of and we'll see how the rest of the season plays out, but like the first 6 episodes of season 1, there was such a clear center of gravity for all the drama. It was Rhaenyra, Alicent, and Viserys, and I think that there is a Viserys-sized hole starting to formulate in this season, but also the lack of interaction between Rhaenyra and Alicent, because now they're stuck on either side of the conflict in their castles. And it's a lot of nobles in this castle and then powerful nobles in that castle. And then we're going to go back to the other castle. Now we're back at King's Landing and back at Dragonstone. So the interactions, to me, they grew dull as the episode went on. As I said, I didn't like the Jace Baela scene, didn't really like Rhaenyra and Massaria. It felt like it was directed very well, but where you're lingering on a character's face or you're positioning the character to show who's got the upper hand in the conversation when they're trading their back and forths. And none of those lines were really hitting for me. But I guess it's interesting to see, for the fans, Massaria making the choice to turn around and make sure Rhaenyra is not assassinated.
Oh, that was nice of her.
But it was kind of and once again, it's in the same world, so you're going to get some of the same themes and ideas. But Massaria talking about her life, I've heard it so many times in this world at this point. Yeah, and then Rhaenyra setting her free, once again, showing her sympathy. I just love Emma Darcy. Love the way they talk. Just so good at delivering these lines. Would have been an amazing professor in Harry Potter. And
great casting because, I think we said it last season, but this episode in particular, there's a couple things where I saw Millie Alcock. It's insane how great that casting was.
Yeah, no, that's one of the best.
And it because I hate when people are like, oh, these people look like each other, they should play brothers or father. And it's like, well, can they play the roles actually? And both give a great spin on Rhaenyra, and just resemblance is pretty remarkable.
Yeah, for me, it really came out, even though I didn't love the scene, but when she told Daemon as a kid, it was fun to run around with you because I didn't really have to trust you. It was just like a fun thing. But now, where I'm giving you actual responsibilities and duties, you kind of suck. And Millie Alcock really came out there. I remember the good times, and that's my favorite episode probably of the series, that episode 4, when they're pretending to be small folk and running around the city together. And then you also see Rhaenyra, or you see Millie Alcock when she remembers who Massaria was. That innocence comes back over her face where she's remembering that epic moment when she stands up to Daemon and Massaria. So yeah, the casting, it is one of the best child to adult castings. And as I said, their voice is so soothing. Need them to read an audiobook, every audiobook that I listen to. And it actually would be great to cast them as Dumbledore in the new Harry Potter series.
There's a new Harry Potter series?
Yeah, remember when that was announced a few years back?
Oh, yeah.
Zaslav is going to milk that shit.
They're doing it, huh?
Well, there hasn't been much talk about it, but I imagine they got to do that. They're a failing company. Yeah. Money. But yeah, Rhaenys and Corlys, remember them? That's what that scene felt like to me.
I liked it. Just a couple grizzled vets. Just, these crazy kids. What are we going to do?
They are hot. That's a hot couple, man. Toussaint's got a great beard.
Well, they just got a vibe where they just been kind of like a Ned and Cat vibe, where it's they just been through a lot. They've seen things they know, and they're just very on the same page.
Yeah, that's nice to see an older couple that's still alive, gets to spend more time with each other. So it did really, it broke my heart that Ned and Cat, their final goodbye legit always makes me tear up. Dude, Cat in season 1, when she says to Ned, you can trust Littlefinger, he's like a brother to me. She is so dumb. They're so out of their elements, bro. What the fuck?
We should just go back, rewatch the series, and just have a dumbass meter.
Ned and Kat are just going blow for blow.
And just pick apart the worst fucking decisions ever.
She's got some bad ones. But yeah, they're hot for older people. And once, the two brothers that are presumably Corlys's bastards, we saw one of them in episode 1, and now we see, I think both of them are. Or that's the idea.
It's a minute sequence, and you sprinkle those in here and there to establish it. So when we do see them throughout the season or the series, you gain some familiarity slowly.
Yeah, Hugh Hammer's getting fucked over, telling his wife, "Oh, they're gonna hook us up." But Rhaenys is someone who I just like her, like having her around. She doesn't have to say much, doesn't have to do much. I want her in my corner. She does check that one guy who was coming at Rhaenyra crazy.
And I also like we talked about with Aemon's kind of being able to express himself or vent a little in the brothel, and just kind of how that relates to the ending with, Aegon clearly needing a mother's comfort, guidance, advice, anything really. And she just bails on him and is like, hey, Kristen. What's up? Hand of the king. That's hot. So are you like my boss now? Like, how's this gonna? What's this dynamic like now? Pass this through HR. Like, how's this going? Well, yeah, I think with Allison too, like how you mentioned before, how she's being portrayed as sympathetic, caught up in the moment, like not a bad person. But I think there are some things you can pick apart more so than even Rhaenyra, that she has not done a great job of just being there for her children. And probably the most crucial time ever, like the most unthinkable tragedy just was bestowed upon your first son, and you can't even just wrap your arms around him.
Right. Yeah. She's so her whole life has been duty bound, marrying Viserys, having his kids, and doing what's expected of her. So it does feel like she's lost that emotional connection for everybody in her life, and that's why Rhaenyra is so easily able to read the men. She looks at Daemon and she knows right away, yeah, he's the one who put out this hit. And Alicent doesn't have that skill because her life has always been dominated by men telling her what to do, how to act, when to smile, when to cry. So she just can't read someone like Kristen Cole and see this guy is nothing more than a dumb sword, and that's how he should be used. And that's something that Rhaenyra knew right away. Still, the best scene is when he asks her to run away and she's like, are you fucking nuts? So yeah, no, Alicent's that missing that emotional connection, and that hurts you in a game like this because you want to be ruthless and smart and cunning, but you also want to keep the team together, keep the morale up. That's what Tywin sucked at. If he kept his boys and feeling good about themselves, wasn't such a dick, he's probably still alive.
They need to bring in like a locker room guy.
No, yeah, Team Green does need like
Marcus Smart.
Yeah, or Josh Hart.
Yeah.
And just a good dude everybody likes. Well, speaking of locker room guys, we got the mention of Darren, who is her fourth child. And it looks like Otto and Darren are going to be working together. And I think he's mentioned in season 1, right? I mean, he might not even be mentioned.
Wasn't that like a joke that like he's just forgotten?
Yeah, I wonder how that's going to go over with the audience.
I mean, I feel like that's expected. I feel like in Game of Thrones too, which is like, well, here's Tommen and Marcella.
yeah, who cares, right?
Even though Marcella was in earlier, but then she just disappeared for a while. I was like, guess who's back? And not the same. Same thing with Tommen. Because that was like, what? Like maybe the pilot episode they were in, or the first 2, and then disappeared until like season 4.
Yeah, that's true. Marcella's season 2 when she gets shipped away.
Yeah. But imagine just like not being like super... like it's a casual watcher. I'm like, wait, Joffrey had a brother? I think we're used to it at this point. There's always another sibling somewhere.
Yeah, and they said he's at Old Town. That's going to be fun. Get a new setting. I always like a new setting.
It was a cool little when she said something about the Tyrells like gaining too much of their like rallying some of their bannermen.
Just bad location geographically. You want to be in the south or the north?
How about the fucking marshlands?
Neither. Don't want to be in the marshlands.
I know he's not alive, but they should just make Walder Frey be around right now. I would buy it.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Or just tease the same actor.
Yeah, he died though, right? Yeah, CGI.
Oh God. Did Tarkin his ass?
CGI old David Bradley.
No, he's still alive.
Oh, really?
That's like when we killed off.
We killed a lot. We killed a lot of people on this
Ellen
podcast.
Payne.
Yeah,
Wilco Johnson, who is actually did die 2 years ago. R.I.P.
Yeah, we were just early on that one.
Just Paul Atreides.
Yeah, imagine Cragen Stark having to marry Walder Frey's daughter to cross the twins to help Rhaenyra. I don't want to mind running it back.
If this was a Bollywood production, they would do that 100%.
Yeah, imagine Game of Thrones ending with a dance number. That'd be fucking sick, actually.
Shah Rukh Khan as the Night King. That would be fucking incredible, dude. Night King and all his White Walkers just two-stepping. Can you hear the ice cream truck?
No.
Oh, nice.
'Tis the season, though.
Yeah, he's back. He's slinging those cones.
Do you think we're going to get White Walkers in this series?
Yes. Yeah, no, they can't.
And you're going to fucking hate it.
They can't resist. It's going to be a throwaway, but yeah, I don't think it will be a significant part of the show, but 100%. Just for the viral moment. Because I get people asking me all the time, so you think White Walkers are going to be in this? And my answer it used to be no. Of course not. One thing I do, this is not the show, but This is an HBO thing, but the recaps are so funny, dude, because they're so self-indulgent. Like, can you imagine we did that for our reviews?
Like previously on.
Or just like recap the review, like, yeah, no, going back to this point, I thought that was one of my best points of the episode. That
like at
sentence
the end
really
of the
sang. Yeah.
Like at the end of the episode.
Yeah, when they're sitting down and talking about it.
I enjoy those.
The Game of Thrones, they earn them. Not at the end, but at that point you can't stop doing them. But now it's
I love the
every
Succession
HBO
one.
show.
Well, I like when you find out little fun trinkets.
Yeah.
Maybe not trinkets, but like fun little facts about like when Succession, the wedding episode, like how they were stacking film around the set because they had to keep reloading it and didn't want to cut the momentum off. Like I found that very cool.
Yeah, that's cool. It felt like this recap was more just telling us shit that we already knew. The worst ones were always The Last of Us. God, I couldn't stand them. They'd be like, man, isn't this show so much better than the game? But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up.
we were having trouble with the scene. Then I had this brilliant idea to just, and everyone around me was like, wow, yeah, that's a great idea. And I was like, yeah, well, that's why they pay me the big bucks.
All right, guys, before we get to the second half of this review, we're going to take a quick break and shout out our sponsor for today's episode, and that would be ExpressVPN. Surfing the web without using ExpressVPN is like not having a case for your phone. Most of the time, you'll probably be fine, but if you have butterfingers like Aaron over here, all it takes is one drop, and then you'll wish you spent those few extra dollars on a case. ExpressVPN is the best option for those looking to stay safe on the internet, making sure that there are no cracks in your internet security. When you log into public networks, your sensitive data like banking information, passwords, IP addresses, they're all at risk, and hackers can make a small fortune per person by selling your personal data on the dark web. But ExpressVPN creates a secure, encrypted tunnel between your devices and the internet. Their private networks provide a layer of protection that keeps hackers from stealing any sensitive data. ExpressVPN is also extremely easy to use. All you have to do is fire up the app, click one button, and you're protected. Plus, it works on all devices, phones, laptops, tablets, and more, so you could stay secure on the go. So head on over to expressvpn.com/nerdsoup to secure your online data today. That's expressvpn.com/nerdsoup, and you can also get an extra 3 months free at expressvpn.com/nerdsoup.
But yeah, I feel like, we pretty much touched upon everything in that episode. It seems I liked it a little more than you, but I think it's gotten a positive reaction. The memes were hilarious. The Kris Jenner one was fucking incredible.
What was that meme?
When Kris Jenner said, like, when I first saw Kim's sex tape as a mother, I was disappointed, but as her manager? And then people were saying that for Otto, for Jaharis. That was pretty solid.
Yeah, as good as Rhys Ifans was, everybody needs to... And I don't even know if people are saying this. I'm just guessing, but he's not going to win the Emmy.
Who is?
Somebody from, I don't know, one of these shows. Severance.
Anthony Starr?
He's also not winning the Emmy. Not to say that I don't love their performances, but they never give the Emmys to these guys.
Dude, the last episode of The Boys was was incredible.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Stan Edgar back?
No. You Stan Edgar?
Fuck, man. He's out there.
It was just a classic Homelander episode.
Guy's got some issues. All right, well, you want to take some fan questions before we wrap this up?
Yeah, sure.
Nice.
You see the set photo, Duncan Egg?
Yes, I did.
I think it's coming out early next year. I think that's going to be a fun series. 6 episodes. I think that's a perfect length. Nice little in between House of the Dragon seasons. And I think it doesn't run the risk of, even though it is a smaller story like House of the Dragon, just the nature of what they're going to be doing and hopping around and stuff like that. I think it's a fun way to expand the world a little.
Yeah, they're a fun duo. All right, some questions. We got some good ones. So we definitely have to get Teddy on for a nice spoiler discussion. Do like the first 2 episodes, because a lot of these questions could carry a whole pod. It's smart listeners.
What's wrong with some people?
Some people are a little strange.
I just saw this tweet, Massaria better than me. God have sucked the eggs out of her ovaries like bubble tea right there in front of the Queen's Guard. I mean, that's one reaction you can have. I mean, I get it, but like...
No, I get it, yeah. A little excessive.
Would I tweet that? Maybe. I would have wish I would have thought of it first.
Yeah, you were a sick fuck.
Yeah.
All right, this question here from Allison. Do you think that they should have spent more time with the twins before killing them? I don't think so. I think the moment, you kind of get it. They're twins. We got some time with them in season 1, and they they kind of discuss their philosophies on where they think things are going and what's the smart move. When you go to the written account, some of the versions had them fighting for like an hour just throughout the castle. I kind of like the way they did it here, incorporating Massaria. We'll see how that plays out. And I guess were people complaining about that? Like there wasn't enough time to care about the twins?
I saw a couple of people talking about it. Like it was like one person said they didn't like that, another person disagreed. So I feel like it's probably split 50-50, but I don't think it's like it's not like a huge deal,
Yeah, I thought that the scene was just well done. I thought the performances, we really didn't touch on. I mean, we kind of did, but the intensity of those actors' performances, they really brought it, both of them. And
it was a well done like fight sequence too.
Yes, it was. This question here from Logan. Will Kristen Cole have a Jaime Lannister level redemption? Kind of a spoiler.
Alan of Hull is that's a sick name. Yeah, what's your name? I'm Alan of Hull. I want to be of something.
Aaron of Hurst?
Yeah.
Doesn't really sing.
Doesn't work for me, no.
I'm Reuben of the Eyrie. Bleep that out.
Will Kristen have a Jaime Lannister like redemption? I don't know. I feel like what could he do to have that type of redemption? Obviously, we're not going to say try to spoil anything, but from our perspective right here in this episode, seeing everything he's been through, the only thing he can do to be redeemed, I think, in some of the viewers' eyes is if he did go back to Rhaenyra and helped her. Because I don't think he's going to be perceived as less of an asshole if he's just doing the same shit he has been doing. If anything, he's in a position now to be more of a fucking dickhead with his new position of power. And you could say that if you're an Allison fan, maybe you can find some redemption in him being loyal to Allison. So maybe if he's just less of a douchebag and cool, but it's hard for him to kind of shake that. Like once you're labeled as just a pathetic person, it's hard to bounce back from that. Because say what you will about Jaime, he always had a swagger to him, always like a confidence to him, like we were talking about before. Like you could be bad and cool at the same time, and I think Jaime was that for most of his antagonist arc.
Right, yeah. From the very first moment you see Jaime, you're like, this guy's cool. No, that was a good answer. Nothing to add on there. This question here from Austin. Did you expect Aegon to become the most interesting character to watch this season? Not at all. I did not expect this. Just based on his description, I expected him to be, one of the interesting characters, especially what we saw him doing last season, because he's just such a sick fuck. No, I did not anticipate enjoying his scenes this much, because every time he's on screen, I have a smile on my face, because I'm like, what is he going to say? What is he going to do? He's so stupid. And just the smug look on his face when he's bitching out Otto. He's just so dumb.
It's literally as the fucking two dumbasses telling each other exactly.
Yeah, exactly. No, they're a fun fucking duo. Very hateable, but entertaining without a doubt. So yeah, did not expect that. Dude's going to win the Emmy.
Severance is going to win every Emmy, I feel like.
Yeah, I guess they didn't really win much for season 1.
Yeah, because they're still battling against the big boy.
Right, Succession. Yeah, Succession really dominated the post-Thrones era. It's like the Shaq three-peat when Jordan retired.
Like 3 actors in some categories.
Yeah, dude, that was fucking the godfather of TV. Just every actor nominated for everything. This question here from Gabs. What dragon are you excited to see more of this season? I'm really excited to see the wild dragons. That's going to be fun, man.
Yeah, I think that's interesting, especially everything surrounding that. Obviously, we won't spoil it, but like just the idea of a wild dragon like trying to tame a dragon. They should make a movie about that and animate it with what the fuck's that guy's name? Jay Baruchel.
Craig Ferguson is his uncle. Doing live action.
Yeah, anytime you could see
live action's coming out too.
And anytime you get to see Vhagar, I mean, I feel like we obviously with the end of last season, but like in an actual, Daenerys on Drogon against the Lannister army, something like that, just where we can really just see the absolute brutality that these things can cause and why they're so feared across the realm. And I think we got a little of that at the Stepstones, but like you pull up to the fucking battlefield, you got a dragon, and then they pull up to the battlefield, they got a dragon.
Right. Like even when Damon was talking about in episode 1, Vagar's too big for me to take on, but if we do it together, I'm like, yeah, let's jump ahead to that. We're only 5 minutes into the season. Like, yeah, go try to kill Vagar.
Like even the little taste we get, well, not maybe like the only real time we've seen dragon on dragon in season 8, but that's what I'm excited for.
This question here from B. Miller. He says that he thinks the Aegon and Otto scenes were some of the best in all of Song of Ice and Fire. What did you guys think? And yeah, I think we really, really enjoyed those scenes. We've been talking them up. I don't know about best, but in terms of House of the Dragon, they're definitely up there. And I'm upset that we're not going to get more of that dynamic. Once again, can you imagine Joffrey trying to fire Tywin?
Well, his mom would put him in his room.
Joffrey did fucking that's my favorite scene in all of Game of Thrones, dude. When Joffrey told Tywin he was a pussy for hiding under Casterly Rock.
That look he gives him.
Tywin wanted to break his neck. It's called
That's
politics.
why, like, it's like we don't need Alicent to be a Cersei replica, but if she had a little bit more of that in her, because say what you will about Cersei, you know, obviously towards the end she kind of became a bit of a shell of herself after, you know, all the tragedy that bestowed her children. You can't tell me that if she's in that position with Aegon, like, she's at least doing something to alleviate the situation, whether that's comfort or being like, hey, you got to buckle up, buddy. Shit's about to go down. And like you said, like, she would never have signed off on, and obviously we'll see next episode, he probably did it behind her back. Alicent will probably be like, what the fuck? Why'd you do that to the hand and whatnot? But like, Joffrey's never making that move. And I think it is because of the presence of not only Tywin, but Cersei as well.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. This question here from Vic. What did you guys think of Alicent, or what do you think so far of Alicent and Cole? Like it for the hypocrisy, but it kind of came out of the blue.
Might be a hot take, but I think Cersei would have ate Rhaenyra's lunch. She had a dragon.
Okay, first of all, we all saw what happened to Cersei. She got smoked by a building. Yeah, no, I guess if she had a dragon, it maybe would have gone over better, but Cersei don't got that dragon in her, man.
Aemon was like, yeah, just let me take fucking the Vagar and just burn them down. Cersei would have been like, I love that idea. That's the best idea I've heard today.
She was a goofy ass Nepo baby.
And I'll come back to the twin thing because that shit rocks too. Maybe we can maybe we'll combine the ideas. How can we get the twin and the dragon together? What was the question?
I don't mind. What do you think of the Alicent and Cole relationship? She says that it kind of feels like it came out of the blue, and it did. They kind of just go right into it in that episode 1. But I don't mind that. I think that there are certain things that you can just jump into and assume that they're fucking, and it kind of makes sense.
Well, I think they both look at it from different angles. I think Alicent just kind of uses it as an escape. She probably doesn't even really, there's probably a comfort there because they've just known each other for so long. With everything else going on around her, she probably just feels like safe. It's probably not an attachment the way I feel like Kristen would have. And I think for Kristen, it's kind of like a surrogate for Rhaenyra. He's just convinced himself that Rhaenyra is just the worst possible person based on his own feelings for her. And when that was denied, he kind of tried to replace that with Alicent. And I think if you put him under a lie detector test, he wishes that she was Rhaenyra.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a weird relationship where they use each other for their own selfish desires.
Yeah, that's pretty much a perfect assessment of what's going on there. These characters in this world just can't get over shit.
So many issues. I would say you would make a killing going back, like if you were in that time as like a therapist, but they would probably kill you. How dare you make me feel vulnerable?
Yeah. Davos is kind of like the therapist in the original. He was like Stannis' little therapist. True to form, Stannis ignored everything he said.
Talk about dick eating. Davos to Stannis. I mean, Stannis is a fucking dud and a half.
Bro, Davos is loyal, man. They don't teach that
But the
anymore.
reason why he respected him was because he took his fingertips off.
Well, he was a thief.
What a man of great honor. I respect that.
He gave him a new life. He educated his son.
I know, but
Sent his son to Harvard.
Imagine slurping the man who took your fingertips off.
But Davos respected it because he was like, yeah, I stole. I'm a thief. He was a smuggler.
I know. Man, let me off with a warning.
One of my favorite moments is when, who is it that Jon executes at the wall? Janos, right? Janos Slynt. And Stannis gives him that firm head nod. Stannis, he lives for that shit. Honoring the code?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
That's another scene that I don't want to be the book guy, but it's so much better in the book.
Oh, God. This question here from Caleb. What's up, Caleb? What do you guys think of The Boys season 4 so far? So, yeah, Aaron, how have you liked it? I haven't caught up yet. I'm waiting for Stan Edgar. I'm waiting for that text from one of you. Stan Edgar's back. Then I'm going to fucking binge.
Well, obviously, as we all know, it's gone woke.
Oh, no.
So,
The
it's been a
Boys?
tough- yeah, no, I didn't see it coming. Me personally, who's watched the first 3 seasons multiple times, it just came out of nowhere. I had no idea. When did the show get political? Yeah, not the way I remember. But yeah, obviously that's just. I wonder.
Well, Homelander's
Because-
supposed to be Biden, right?
that is a weird, because like it was never, because some people are like, oh well, it used to be subtle and new, like it really wasn't, and that's what made it kind of fun.
The very first season is very much based on the mid 2000s because that's when it was written. It was supposed to be post 9/11 religious politics, but then it became very much commentary on politics now.
Sure, but even everything like in the church camp and everything in season 1.
Oh yeah, no,
like,
it's very heavy-handed. It's not subtle at all.
I guess it's just like has become cool or fun. Like people have noticed that gets traction and engagement to call something woke garbage now.
And like I said, I'm going the other way. I'm becoming even more woke. So this episode of House of the Dragon and my woke meter, I'm giving it 2 out of 5 wokes because
damn, you're still sleeping.
Still fucking snoozing, dude. Fucking nightcap and a candlestick.
You're in REM right now.
They've got one more episode to acknowledge Pride Month. I'll fucking stop watching. I'm not even fucking kidding.
No, so like obviously it was annoying to like kind of see those takes come out in the first 3 episodes. Like the whole Frenchie is gay now. Like he's been Frenchie for like the whole season, the whole series. Always just doing whatever he wants.
He's French.
Yeah. Exactly.
You ever been to France?
So like,
although France these days, I don't know.
But like the first 3 episodes weren't like great by any means. They were still solid episodes, but I think this last episode is clearly the best of the season. And I think if people turned off, like who liked The Boys for the first 3 seasons and were like complaining the first 3 episodes, whether they didn't like the quality or complaining that they think it, went woke or whatever the narrative is going with that. Like, I think if any of them watch this episode, they would even be like, have to admit, like, yeah, this is a great episode. This is why I love The Boys, and this is why Homelander is like such a fantastic character. We'll see where it goes for the rest of the season, but hopefully they can build off of this episode and continue, because it is one of my favorite shows going right now. And I do get excited every Thursday. Yeah,
like I said, once Stan Edgar comes back, I'm tapping in. This question here from Mel. No, I'll probably watch these first 4 and we'll do like a nice mid-season review. This question here from Mel. What is your favorite, good question, what is your favorite 3.5 star movie, 3.5 star movie? And to me, I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's become my standard 3.5. Like when I'm on the fence between 3.5 and 4, I think, is this movie better than The Menu? And if it's not, I keep it at 3.5. Because that's...
The Menu's a good 3.5.
Yeah. Great 3.5 movie. The Michael Jordan of 3.5, the Godfather of 3.5 movies.
I gave my last 3.5 stars was Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. And I think that's a fucking great 3.5 star movie.
See, I gave that 3, but that also to me is like an all timer for 3 because I really enjoyed it, but it does pale in comparison to because the first that trilogy just had no business being that good.
I gave Willy Wonka a 3.5. That's a bad 3.5 star movie. Not that it's a bad movie, but I think it should either be higher or lower. Pick a side on Willy Wonka, Aaron.
Oh, I recently watched Everybody Wants Some, the Linklater spiritual sequel to Dazed and Confused. Gave it 3.5. All-time 3.5 star movie. That's such a great bro movie.
Theater Camp, 3.5. I think that's a great 3.5.
I gave that 4. I really like that.
I liked it too.
Yeah, no, I know. But like I said, the 3.5 to 4 to me is just so much wider than 3 to 3.5. I don't know why.
Hunger Games, Catching Fire. I think, yeah, it's like the best of that group of movies, 3.5.
It's a fire movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like that question. Like I said, The Menu has just become my standard 3.5.
That's a good one. I think I gave The Menu a 4, though.
I love that movie. It's a fun movie.
Yeah, that's a really fun movie that's not anything more. Is a perfect 3.5 movie. Like Planet of the Apes for me.
Yeah, I've been actually dying to rewatch The Menu. Just I just haven't. I guess I haven't been dying to watch it, but I want to. All right, we'll take a few more here. We had a lot of questions asking us if we watched Kendrick's Pop Out concert. I don't know if you saw it, Aaron, but I was anticipating that as soon as it was announced, and I watched the whole thing. I hadn't smoked in like 3 weeks, and I brought out a fat blunt, and it was just a great night.
When do you think it becomes old?
Never.
No? That's actually a great question to ask Drake, too. But
I've listened to those tracks so much at this point that I've played them out for myself. But the variety and the quality of the music that Kendrick dropped, it was like a little EP.
yeah,
And
I just kind of missed that whole thing. I'm kind of disappointed on that.
that Friday night, or just the best night in general since maybe Battle of the Bastards and 2016 finals. That's what that felt like, dude. When I heard that Alchemist beat, I was like, shit is getting spooky. And I knew he was going to, because everybody was talking about how he ran Not Like Us back 5 times. I knew it was coming because he was doing the Tupac, when Tupac first performed Hit 'Em Up, he ran it back 5 straight times.
Yeah, that is crazy.
And the YG set was awesome. I forgot how many bangers YG had. Roddy Ricch was great. Dre coming out was unreal. To see him co-signing Not Like Us. And then the second verse when he just had the entire crowd rap every word, that crowd was so excited to be there. And at times they were drowning him out because they just knew every word. He's a great performer, dude. If anybody's hasn't seen his 2022 Paris concert, that's also on Amazon. Great concert, great show.
Was he tour?
Yeah, he toured after Missa Morale came out. That's what that Amazon concerts from. He puts on a great live show. I mean, the dude's a genius. Jay-Z has always been my number one, but this felt like a snatching of the crown. And he has the classic albums. He has the reputation. He was already one of the GOATs, but to smack up the number one guy like he's done on the world stage. Oh man, you got to give it to him.
Just want to see what Drake, like, what does he do now?
Seppuku?
Does he yeah? Does he just keep being Drake though? Like whatever.
It's not that he. Yeah, if he dropped an album, it's going to do numbers and it's going to do a lot of streams. And the thing with Drake is that a lot of his fans just aren't hip hop fans. So if he drops something, they're going to check back in. I'm sure a good, decent percentage of his fan base has no idea what's been happening the last few months. But this isn't something that ever leaves you. It's sort of like Jay-Z with Ether. Jay-Z recovered very nicely.
Very nicely.
But also, the accusations here are a bit more brutal. There weren't accusations on Ether. It was just hilarious disses. I just think, once again, going back to his approach, he should have just kept it to the lyrics. You should have kept going with, like, you're short and annoying and you'll never be Tupac.
As a short guy, like, being called short sucks. It's like, it may seem like, yeah, like, or whatever. Like, oh, whatever. Even if you try to play it off like it doesn't hurt, it hurts. There's nothing you can do about it.
Well, one of my favorite parts is that Nash just like refuses to talk about the beef. He just won't entertain it whatsoever because Drake is his GOAT. He's just in the corner watching his man getting trounced on. I remember when Euphoria dropped, he's like, oh, we putting a parlay on the Yankee game? We're all like talking about Euphoria, me, you, and Teddy. This guy Nash is like, so the Yankees. Like, yo, nobody gives a fuck about the Yankees right now, man.
No, it's not worth. When I was like younger, when I was like really into like UFC and whatever in high school, my favorite fighter was Forrest Griffin, and he got absolutely embarrassed. Like you can find it online by Anderson Silva, and I'm like, yeah, like I still like him, but like I can't root for him. Like, what am I supposed to do now? It's like watching your dad get beat up. Like you can't tell me anything brutal, anymore. Dude. Yeah, it's like watching your favorite fighters get absolutely dismantled. It's like, well, that was fun because then you try to cope. It's like, oh, he was like hurt, like no, he just got bodied. Sometimes people just get bodied.
You're still hurt. What it comes down
to. Yeah.
Hey, God, come on, guys, get over it. It happens. This question here from Hank. Fun question. We'll end it on. Who's your ideal Game of Thrones House of the Dragon blunt rotation? Gotta
have Tyrion in there. Basic answer, but
yeah, without a doubt.
He's the only one who you can just have fun with.
I'm throwing Davos in there.
No, he's a fucking downer, man.
You need a downer.
No, you don't.
Because Davos is going to get you pizza.
No, he'll start crying about Shireen. Get over it.
Oh man, I would feel, maybe not.
What about
Marjorie.
I don't know. I feel like she'd be up to something. Why are you being so nice to me? Why?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd totally fall for it.
Yeah, but she'd be like, it's got to be a catch.
She spiked the
You
blood.
just brought an ounce into the room. It's like, no, I got it. Don't worry. You're up to something.
I would put Aegon in there. When he was hanging out with his boys on the throne room, I didn't know he was chill like that.
No, yeah, he kind of does have season 2 vibe. Season 2 vibes only. I think Tormund might get rough.
No, yeah, Tormund. So you want to wrestle?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna want to wrestle.
Yeah, and punching your arm and shit.
Bran would freak me the fuck out.
Maybe Jojen.
Yeah,
because Jojen's gonna freak you out, but not in a weird detached.
No,
Bran
he'll start
way.
dropping like conspiracy theories on your head.
Yeah, that'd be really fun.
I need someone to take care of me though, in case things go south, which they will.
I think Davos would be that guy.
Nah, yeah, but I think the real answer is for a guy like me, probably like Melisandre.
Yeah, right. Daenerys,
Marjorie, Daenerys, Cersei. Just cool people.
Talissa,
Rob.
What's her face? Hannah Waddingham.
me Deuce in the blunt with Rob. It's like, yeah, you just got to follow your heart, man. I like, don't follow the oath. Just break it, man. Just follow your heart, dude. Like, yeah, you know what? I will.
Yeah, they need to do Game of Thrones in betweequel. It's like characters who inspired all the dumb decisions. Like, yo, Kat, I'm telling you, you free Jaime. He's a man of his word. He's getting your daughters back.
Oh, Jaime, that guy? Give you the shirt off his back.
Why can't I remember? Oh, Septa and Nella. Dude, talk about disguising somebody as, you never would have expected Septa and Nella to be. She is so hot in Ted Lasso.
Smoke the blunt with a high sparrow. Now I got this fucking thing carved on my forehead. Got radicalized.
Walking around with no shoes and shit. About to catch the monkeypox. All right, guys, that does it for this episode of Nerd Soup.
So, yeah. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed your drugs. That, of course, is a sin, so you're going to have to make penance. Get naked.
That's what Aaron Rodgers is doing right now, right? He's doing drugs in South America with religious people.
Probably.
Somebody asked us what the hell is going on with Aaron Rodgers. How are you feeling about that? You feeling confident?
I think it's the media is just, they have nothing else to talk about, so they're blowing this way out of proportion. It was an excused absence from months ago. So
unexcused.
Technically, but they knew what he was doing. Tom Brady did the same fucking thing. No one cared. It's just fun to make stories out of Aaron Rodgers, and you have The Athletic promoting their old tweet from fucking months ago about a bullshit story.
4 snaps, and he's getting this defense?
Come on, man. I need something. I bought my fucking tickets to Tottenham Stadium to see them play.
Oh,
and if
Tyrod
Taylor starts that game, I will literally fucking kill myself.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers is insufferable. Not the biggest deal. The only funny thing is that he, just like a few weeks ago, he's given this whole lecture on personal responsibility.
But
he's just such a dick. That's what it really comes down to. Not a big deal, but God, he's a dick. Skip Bayless was, as many things as Skip Bayless has been wrong about, he was dead on with Aaron Rodgers. But you guys just want that chip. I mean, hey, we'll see.
And we don't really know too much about the vaccine,
Oh, man. All right, guys, that does it for this episode of Nerd Soup. This video is going to get flagged, so God damn it. But for Aaron, I am Ruben, formerly known as Beau, and I'm going to answer that probably on the next, we got a question, why am I no longer Beau? We'll get into that. It's a nice little expose. But yeah, we'll be back hopefully throughout this week. I just sent Teddy a sassy text about him waiting for House of the Dragon to come out on Blockbuster Video before he watches it. So
Teddy X in our group chat is like, who wants to go to the Yankee game with me and my daughter and wife? Like he thought we were going to jump at that opportunity. It's like, why is no one answering?
Why doesn't he just go with his daughter and wife?
Yeah, I know.
Maybe a brother.
But he's shocked that no one's jumping at that opportunity.
She does seem like a well-behaved kid. Kid at a Yankee game is always iffy.
No, she's great, and I've known Teddy's wife for so long. I like them. And
yeah, so why aren't you going?
It seems like you're doing a family trip. Why are you inviting your friends? Unless they're bringing her friends, and it's supposed to be a whole thing. The way he made it out, it's like they're having a nice little family Wednesday together. So you guys can do that. That sounds great. I'm envious. When's the last time you had a good Wednesday?
I'm trying to think. What did I do last Wednesday?
Probably nothing.
No, I definitely wasn't at a Yankee game with my loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't been to a Yankee game in 2 years. Love baseball games, man. So much better live. There's really something about that.
Let's get your game.
Yeah, no, we should. All right, guys. We'll see you soon. Hopefully Teddy enjoys his baseball game, and he'll probably watch House of the Dragon in between innings.
At the game. Yo, this game boring as hell.
Yeah.
War is coming.